Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Inked with Elegance by Christine J. I am back today with another paper piecing. As I mentioned in my scrapbook layout video, after putting together the first page, I remembered that there was just more photos that I needed to use. And so I've decided to create other elements. I went searching and I did find another piece of the same background paper, thankfully. And so I am going to just continue that layout out to the right. So the first thing I did was I did create another water piece, this textured water piece, because if you did watch the first layout video, I cut off the beginning piece from Pinocchio here because I didn't need it, and I then attached it to here. So because I wanted the same kind of theme to flow into the next page, I did duplicate this piece and I recut it out. So I did put this one together off camera because it actually had a lot of rips and tears and cuts, so I had to actually piece together some pieces just to make it look cohesive. Some might get cut off and used other places, but at least we have that one. The other thing I did was when I was creating this piece, at first I didn't know if I wanted it to be this way, which was the original, or flipped this way. In Cricut Design Space, it is sort of like a scene, and so I just took the main elements I wanted because I knew I should add the whale on the page somewhere since the ocean is there. And so at first I thought Pinocchio might be too small. I did want him the same size as the other one, but then realized quickly that it would have taken up the entire 12 by 12 sheet, or at least the majority of it, and I wouldn't have fit any photos. So then I had it flipped like this. I decided at first I was going to print and cut, and so I printed the first piece out and then realized that although it is adorable, I did want it to match the vibe of the first page, and I thought that that little Pinocchio was just very cute paper cut, and this is a big enough size where I could cut pieces, so that's what I did. So today I'm back to do that, and since I don't really need this for the layout, I'm going to use it temporarily to piece together this piece. So I know we have the whale here, that's the background, and then I'm going to go ahead and I believe it goes this way. Nope. I better make sure which way it fits on this whale. Okay, it goes that way. So that is going to be this way. All right, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this one. This might have been another one that I could have done off camera because it has so many lines and pieces, but it's all right. We'll see if we can make it work. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Mine has been okay so far. Nothing that eventful going on. We have family in town, but they're busy today, I think, so we're good. I need to figure out how I can bring more light into my craft room. Because when I was gluing the pieces, I did realize that it is kind of hard to see, and if I even see myself, if I plug in or turn on the closet light, I don't think that that would make much of a difference either. It's kind of stays in the closet, so. Okay, that's good enough. I did want the swirls to kind of match, and so I'm glad I did find this whale piece that came from the same set. The whole set is not Pinocchio. The whole set has different sceneries of different shows, and I didn't look at all of them, but I do know they at least had this whale And then they had another one, but Pinocchio wasn't being thrown up in the air, so I did decide to just keep the one that did, because I thought that was kind of cute. I did change Pinocchio's bow tie on that one as well to match the color that I needed from the first video with the photos. So, and then I was torn between this blue for the whale and this one. I did like this one because of the texture. This one also has a texture, just not as pronounced. So I think it'll still look nice. I tried to watch videos to see what color Monstro is, and it's kind of hard to tell from the videos because he kind of looks like a deep blue and sometimes shades of gray, and it could just be because of the deep ocean. So I figure if nothing else, I will make him at least the blue for sure. So he is blue. And I did the background piece the same color as I did in the first one. Considered doing a light blue, but I thought this might work better. At least you can see his eyes and smile more. Okay, I'm gonna move this because I can't tell on the camera. I think when I look up on my phone, you can't really see too much down here because of the angle. So I'm gonna try and move that up there so you can at least see it while I put it together. Okay, so for this one, I think the only thing that needs to go is that, which I'll attach. I cut the pieces earlier today, but it took longer than expected. Trying to learn the whole snap to matte feature. That's a bit interesting. I do like it because I think it's gonna save space on those like papers where you kind of cut all over the place. Okay, so that is the whale. And then now we'll move up to Pinocchio and the ocean or whatever, the waves, the spout that's coming out. So I think for that, I want to say he just sits on it. So if, oh, sorry, I have him backwards, I know, sorry. I just want to see if the pieces, okay, it doesn't look like it goes under his shoe, so I should be okay. I do appreciate the 22 watches I got on the first paper piecing video. I have since today I uploaded the first layout for that, if anyone is interested in checking that out. I think I'll go ahead and attach this one. Yeah, you can see just like on this edge just how difficult it was being today. Maybe I need a new blade. Or maybe it's just the paper. Sometimes I notice that some of my Stampin' Up! Paper that I've had for a while doesn't cut right. Although I don't know what brand of this one. It might be a Stampin' Up! Sheet. I have kind of scraps of it laying here and there, so it's not put back in the original pack. I do like how this water matches, because then it'll be nice to be able to bring the same kind of theming from the first page to the second. like I said, I do have more photos of the event. Pinocchio was interacting with a little kid in a couple of the photos, as well as I have one of my mom and I sort of giving, I don't know, he turned and held her hand. So when I realized I had those photos, I figured no sense putting them to waste. I do like seeing them in books. I find it fun to look back on later. And there's another little curl. I want to say it goes, I guess it goes there. I think there's a tiny little piece in there I need to take out. Probably doesn't pick that up on camera, but you can see a tiny little shred in there that will make it look not so nice. So let's see if I can get it off. I can't believe we're going into July already. Crazy how half the year is done. Just like that. Just like when kids grow, they grow up too quick. Same. Okay, I'm gonna think that that goes there. Okay, then I'm gonna assume Pinocchio goes on first in black. Okay, I'm gonna sit him here. The layering is kind of fun to do when it's just keeps piecing on top of each other, but you have to be very careful that you don't make a mistake. So it's kind of confusing me that I'm looking at this one backwards, but I do know his hat. His hat in yellow. So I think his hat in red has to go on first, because if not, his little feather won't be added. So you see how it cuts out this whole piece just because we need that feather. So in that sense, I don't know, maybe it's a waste of paper, but as far as piecing goes, I guess it is easier to layer, as long as you layer it right the first time, because if not, every other layer is going to be bad. Okay, so we got the red on. Now we have to put the yellow on over. Oops, and I've already got that wrong. Yep. Let me see if I can peel it off. And why, you might ask? It's because we have to put the face colored pieces on first. Oh, it might almost be easier to cut a second one. Can I save it? Oh, maybe it's saved. Okay. Crisis averted, I think. All right. I think. All right, so I guess it has to be pink first. Yeah, see, in that sense, if I just had the little feather, that might have been easier. Then all this layering. But anyways, try again. So pink first. Now cream. All for that, see the whole entire piece, all for the little cheek right there. Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna do cream. Now let's see. Oh, now it's the hair. Wow, I would have had that way wrong. Well, I did have that way wrong, I should say. That is a very thick piece when it's done. And I'm trying not to damage that, but I'm gonna have to somehow. Okay, all right, let's see. Now I have the black. Next would be the red. Then the yellow. That is a pretty thick cut. Look, I don't know if you can even see that, but look how thick that is. That is a lot of layers. Okay. Then I'm gonna guess the yellow. Now I have to figure out. I'm guessing his shirt goes this way. Interesting. Alright, in that corner piece was his arm. Okay, so this would be here. Oh, okay, very little. Get it. Alright, wish me luck. I definitely don't want to be recutting this. Okay, so his clothing, his shirt. tiny little bit of his arm. Or his elbow, I guess, if you will. Okay. Then his little arm piece, his leg piece goes there. All right. It's like doing surgery. Okay. And then this goes on his leg. I guess it's supposed to be like a little screw, or like a wood knot. That is closer to there. All right. I think I can put this piece in. Probably put some Nouveau on it like I did the other one to make it a little glossy. Okay. And then his little other arm piece. Oops. Is like that. So. Okay. And then the red. This one I'll probably not put buttons in. I'll just leave it yellow. Or those brads that I was talking about in my first video. Because I think the holes are a little bit smaller for the buttons. And then I feel like that wouldn't look right, so. Trying to slide it over. Okay. That's good. Now his bow can go on, I think. Better wait on that last. Okay. That goes there. Wait, what is the point? If this goes right over, I don't know what happened. How come one is skinny? Interesting. The woes of live TV. Okay, I can see that making sense on that one. Unless, ooh, okay. Here's another one. You guys can see me make mistakes. Okay, so I guess, yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about Cricut's stuff. They cut out all these little pieces, but in order for you to figure out which order it goes in, you would literally need to take it apart on Cricut Design Space and assemble it piece by piece. Okay. All right. Trial and error with this one. Apparently. Okay, that now makes sense because I can see the side of his shoe. Ay, ay, ay. It looked the same size. I think I like piecework rather than this layering stuff. Okay, there's that. No. That one goes on there. All right. Now this little bow. Now his little gloves. Okay. Right. I guess it does give it dimension. It does look cute with all the dimension. Once you get it right. That one I kind of want to put up higher because it's can see the black on by his arm, but then again, it might not make sense. Okay, there we go. All right. That was a pain in the butt, but we got through it. So I think with, what color did I use? I don't remember using this brown. I think I might have tried to do an orange since his nose has a bit of it. So what I did was I just put some Nuvo right over his nose like this. Okay. And then I did use my white gel pen in his eye. I did like sideways little dots. So I think I'll do that on here. And then I know I used some glossy glaze on his hair. I guess it sealed up a hole. Okay. So it might look a little murky at first, but it will dry clear. And then I did do on his shoes, I did do a little for the treads. And then, what else did I do? I know for his eyes, I actually used some Blue Nouveau, because in the photos, he did have some. Oh, this one is too, no. I know it wasn't that one either. Oh, might have been this one. Aquatic Mist. And I don't know if anyone has any idea how to make it so that all the color doesn't settle. Let me know. Maybe it has to hang upside down. And then I think with his eyes, I just did a little bit. I don't know what color. I think I used that one. And then at first I was just using a black pen, but now I actually use the Cricut marker. I think for that I did. Okay. And there's no cat on this one that I have to worry about. And I did do little eyebrows like that because everyone could use some eyebrows. Good pearls. It's kind of too orange. Maybe, since this is actually being spurt out of this well, like out of the blowhole, maybe I'll add some. My cousin got me into using these, and she actually, I don't know how, I know she does some different art than me. She doesn't do scrapbooking. She does some ATCs and whatever, but I don't really think, she might just use it as a drop or to make little drops, but I think I've only ever used it like this style. By the time I get the page done, this will be dry, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, and I'm not gonna do the, I probably won't, I don't know. So once I get started, I might actually. So I considered doing some of that same here, but I probably won't just because I don't want it to get too busy. The whale itself, I don't know if it needs anything. Like I said, I don't do any inking. interesting, so therefore I gotta come up with things that make it look a little bit different than just the norm. I think I might use some glassy glaze in the whale's eye also. Sure gets stuck fast. Sorry if you can hear my son in the background. His room is right next to my craft room, so. Oh, this is really getting to be interesting. Maybe it's time for me to get a new glossy glaze or glossy accents. Okay, I'm not gonna put any in his mouth. I don't think he needs it. And that will probably be it. Other than that, I'll just leave it to dry until it's time to do the layout. But that's the finished product. And the next time when I come back, hopefully it'll be to assemble the layout. I actually have to pull up the pictures and crop them to the sizing I need. Because as you can see, this whale takes up quite a bit of space. Let me see if I can take it off this. So if this is the size of a 12 by 12 sheet and it goes on the paper, then you can see there's only some space down here and on this side. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Thank you for helping me to climb out of the mistakes I made when piecing him together. But all in all, he turned out fine. And it was fun. I love to see what they turn into after they're pieced together. It's a lot different on the Cricut screen as opposed to it is actually cut out. So anyway, have a lovely Sunday evening and see you all next time. Bye.